Hey guys, welcome to video lesson 3.2. These are the solutions to textbook pages 90 and 91. This will cover numbers 8 to 10 all, 15 to 18 all, 19 through 21 all, 23, 24, 20, and 29. Remember, if you scroll below on this video in the descriptions, you can click on the problem number and it will take you right to that problem. So let's begin. So number 8 here, we are looking to find the sum. So I'm going to take n plus 8 and add it to n plus negative 12. What I did here, hopefully you recognize it by now, I made that minus a plus and I made this 12 the opposite. So plus negative 12. So I'm going to take one n and add another n to get 2n. I'm going to take 8 and add 12 and get plus negative 4. So there's my solution to number 8. Okay, let's take a look at number 9. Number 9, I have 7. I'm going to change this to plus, and I'll make this negative 1b plus 3b plus 2. So I am adding these two parentheses. I can't do anything in each of them, so I'm able to break the parentheses apart. So I'm going to take negative 1b and add 3b to get 2b plus, I'm going to take 7 and add 2 to it to get 9. So here is my solution to number 9. Number 10, I'm going to take this minus and write it as a plus. I'm going to take the opposite here, and I'll take this minus, write it as a plus, and take this opposite. So this gives me 2w plus negative 9 plus negative 4w plus negative 5. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take 2w and add negative 4w to get negative 2w, and then I will take negative 9 and add negative 5 to get plus negative 14. Okay, and here is my solution to number 10. Right, let's move on to number 15. So you're going to need your calculator for this because some of these numbers will seem like I'm making them come out of nowhere. So please have your calculator. When I say enter these numbers, please do so. So you're going to type in your calculator 1/3 times 9. I'm going to have to distribute this 1/3 to both of these. So 9 times 1/3, you'll get an answer of 3. Bring this minus sign down. Now take 1/3 and times it to 6. You should get 2. Don't forget the m. So this whole thing is broken down. I distribute it, so it simplifies to 3 minus 2m plus. Now I'm going to take this 1/4 and times it to these two terms. So 1/4 times 12 will give you 3. Don't forget your m. Bring the minus sign down. Now in your calculator, do 1/4 times 8. You'll get 2. We're now going to take these minus signs and write them as plus opposite, plus opposite. So it looks like this: 3 plus negative 2m plus 3m plus negative 2. So now what could I take with negative 2m is add negative 3m to get m, or you can write 1m plus 3 plus negative 2 is 1. So my final solution is m plus 1. So for number 16, same idea. I'm going to take negative 1/2 and multiply it to each set of terms. And then when I come over here, I'm going to take 1/5 and multiply it to each set of terms. So we're going to take negative 1/2 and times it by 7. We're going to get negative 7z over 2. Then we're going to take this plus sign and bring it down. Negative 1/2 times 4 is going to be negative 2. Plus 1/5 times 5. In your calculator, you will get 1. So that leaves me with z. I bring this minus sign down. 1/5 times 15 is 3. So what I'm going to do now is combine like terms. I'm going to take negative 7/2 and add 1 to it. So in your calculator, if you do negative 7/2 plus 1, you're going to get negative 5/2 and just attach the z to the numerator. We can rewrite this, and I encourage you to do so. If you hit on your calculator, hit second, and then the X10N button, which is third row, third column, you get negative 2 1/2. So we get negative 2 1/2 z plus negative 2 plus negative 3 is negative 5. Okay, I just took this minus, made it a plus, and then took the opposite of what came next. Negative 2 plus negative 3. Okay, it's the end of number 16. Let's move on to 17. So for number 17, you start a new job. After W weeks, you have 10W plus $120 in your savings and 45W plus 25 in your checking. Write an expression that represents the total. So that means I'm going to take 10W plus 120 and add it to 45W plus 25. So I'm going to take my two terms with W's and add them to get 55W plus 120 and 25 is 145. Okay, there's my solution for 17. Okay. Just making some room here for number 18. So let's take a look at number 18. So part A. While catching fireflies, you and your friend decide to have a competition. After M minutes, you have 3M plus 13 fireflies, and your friend has 4M plus 6 fireflies. Write an expression that represents the number of fireflies you and your friend caught together. So what that means is we're going to take 3M plus 13 and add 4M plus 6. So I can take the 3M and add 4M to get 7M. Then I could add 13 plus 6 because those are constants to give me 19. So my solution for part A is 7M plus 19. Okay, that's part A. For part B, the competition ends after 5 minutes. Who caught more? So remember, M is the number of minutes. So for you, 3M plus 13. That means 3 times 5 plus 13. So 15 plus 13, that is 28. That's for you. Oops. And then for your friend, let's change color. For your friend, let's see, your friend is 4m plus 6. So 4 times 5 plus 6. 20 plus 6 is 26. Who caught more fireflies? And your answer is I caught more because 28 is greater than 26. All right, let's move on to the next problem. So now we're going to find the difference. So remember, for all of these, we're going to distribute, we're going to change everything on the inside. So let's begin. So I get keep negative 2g plus 7. I'm going to make this a plus, and then these are going to become opposites. So I get negative 1g plus negative 11. Okay, then I combine like terms. Negative 2g and negative 1g is negative 3g plus 7 plus negative 11, negative 4. Okay, that's number 19. Let's move on to 20. So for number 20, 6d plus 5, I'm going to change this to plus. Now I'm going to take the opposite of these. It becomes negative 2. I bring this minus sign down, and then the opposite of 3d is negative 3d. Okay, what I'm going to do now is rewrite my minus signs. So this will be plus, this will be opposite. So that gives me 6d plus 5 plus negative 2 plus 3d. Now I can take 6d and add 3d to get 9d plus 5 plus negative 2 is 3. Okay, and there's my solution for number 20. Okay, I don't think I've recorded number 21, so let's start that again. I think I did the explanation without recording. So we're going to take 4. I'll rewrite this minus as plus negative 5y. And I'm going to take this and write it as plus negative 2 times 3.5y minus 8. You could also rewrite this one in here, or you can do it later. So 4 plus negative 5y plus, in your calculator, negative 2 times 3.5 will get you negative 7y. This minus sign, bring it down. Negative 2 times 8 is negative 16. Now we're going to rewrite that minus sign. So we get 4 plus negative 5y plus negative 7y plus 16. I'm going to take negative 5 and add negative 7 to get negative 12y plus 4 plus 16 is 20. Okay, let's move on to 23. So for 23 and both 24, they're the same idea. We're going to take the fraction and distribute before we can subtract. So in your calculators, please do 1 over 8 times negative 8, and you'll get negative 1c plus negative 1 over 8 times 16 will give you 2. And I'm going to change this to plus negative 1/3 times 6 plus 3c. So now what I'm going to do is take this negative 1/3 and multiply it to the two terms inside. So negative 1c plus 2 plus, in your calculators, negative 1/3 times 6 is negative 2 plus negative 1/3 times 3 is negative 1c. Okay, you will now take negative 1c and add negative 1c to get negative 2c. And then negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So this is my solution for 23. For number 24, it's the same idea. In your calculator, you're going to take 3/4 and times it by 3. Remember, you add the x, you get 9x over 4 plus 3/4 times 6. Let's see, that gives us 18/4. That reduces to 9/2. Now here I'm going to write this as plus negative 1/4. And I'm going to multiply that by 5x minus 24. We can change this minus later. So 9x over 4 plus 9/2 plus negative 1/4 times 5x is negative 5x over 4. Minus comes down. And then negative 1/4 times 24 is 6. Okay, I'm going to take 9/4x and add negative 5/4 to get 9 minus 5 is 4/4x, which becomes x. And then in your calculator, you will do 9/2 minus 6, and you'll get negative 3/2. And you can use the x10n button, second x10n, and that'll be converted to negative 1 1/2. So there's number 24. Okay, for number 28, the expression 7n plus 11 represents the perimeter. Write an expression that represents the measure of the third side. So what I'm going to do is add these two sides and then subtract it from this. So I have 17n plus 11, and I'm going to subtract 5n and 4n is 9n. And then I'm also going to subtract 6 plus 5 is 11. So these go to 0. You don't have to write that. And 17 minus 9 is 8n. So the third side, 8n. Okay, and for the last one, Taxi Express charges $260 plus $365 per mile. Cab Cruiser charges $275 plus $390 per mile. Write an expression that represents how much more Cab Cruiser charges than Taxi Express. So here we go. Taxi Express charges $260 plus 365x. Cab Cruiser, I'm just going to abbreviate as CC, they charge 275 plus 390x. So we want to know how much more this company charges than that. So we're going to subtract these two. Oh, I'm putting my x's in the wrong spot. Uh, 260, 365x. So here should be a 5. 15 cents plus 6. So they charge 25 cents more per mile and 15 cents more for the initial fee. So it's 15 cents plus 25 cents X. Yeah, let me just write that a little neater for you. Okay, this is the difference between the two. All right, great job. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.